I have been living in motels for the past several months because uh, the last place I lived at, Arrowhead Gardens, I could hold more up. These are Seattle Police Department reports of theft. People were coming into my apartment. They had keys. I had my second year lease stolen out of my apartment. I had personal property stolen out of my apartment. Someone was using my TV and my oven. And I was paying rent there. I lived there for over a year, gave them notice that I was leaving, and I even hired people to help me clean the apartment since I'm disabled, to leave it in the best condition I could possibly leave it in. Well, I had bought a camera, and somehow it got misplaced, even though I told the people who were cleaning not to pack it, not to put it away, leave it where it is. It disappeared for a while. I did find it afterwards in my storage, but I tried to apply for an apartment, and they claim at Arrowhead Gardens Management that I owe them money. I don't owe them a penny. My apartment was broken into at Arrowhead Gardens, else I would still be living there. In fact, from what I understand, quite a few people have moved out. Now, I paid 40 some odd dollars for a background check, and I also gave them a $35 check to hold the apartments at Berrien Apartments. And they're the ones who have denied me an apartment because they tell me that the manager at Arrowhead Gardens claims I owe them money. Well, if I owe them money, then I want them to find who took my second year lease, which in Seattle is illegal, by the way, in Seattle, Washington. Who was breaking into the apartments at Arrowhead Gardens? I mean, they have cameras all over the place. Why don't they work? Are they just for show? Why did the manager, the first thing he did was to hire one of his people to come and change all the locks in the storage place? But when I sent him requests to change the lock, my lock, that I would do it, and that I would give him the spare key, he wouldn't give me anything in writing. But he kept saying no, that he had to ask the main headquarters. Well, at the end of it all, he said no. So, David, why do I owe you money? Especially when I took that apartment and the linoleum in the bathroom wasn't laid properly. The linoleum in the kitchen, well, after a time you could see the backing of the first linoleum that was laid there come through. So it was uneven. because of the poor workmanship that was done there. And who gave other people keys where they could go in to other people's apartments? I did make enough police reports. So, sir, I lived there over a year. Why do I owe money? I didn't get my deposit back. And that seems to be the case in a lot of places in Washington State. The management doesn't give back your deposit. And I know that other people who have moved out of Arrowhead Gardens left their apartment clean, but somehow your managers found problems. You know, some of these managements in Washington State should be investigated thoroughly, because there is too much funny business going on where a person can't live in his apartment and feel safe. And they're denied apartments because these people claim you owe them money. Well, I'd like to find a lawyer who is willing to represent me in that. I can show them a lot of police reports of break-ins into my apartment. So, who in Washington State is a good lawyer who believes in tenants' rights? Who will represent me? You can contact me at rfpjr1951@yahoo.com, because I've had enough of this nonsense. This is the second management that has falsely made claims against me. The first one has gotten into a lot of trouble because they were sued for doing the same thing to a lot of different tenants all over the country. And it seems that, at least according to Marion Apartments, that Arrowhead Gardens is doing the same thing. So, where can I find an attorney who will sue Arrowhead Gardens, who will help me? I'm willing to pay to put in the papers to find the other tenants that have been maligned by the management at Arrowhead Gardens, that they've made false claims against these tenants, while there are tenants who had their apartments broken into. So, please, is there a lawyer in Washington State that believes in justice, so I can be in an apartment? Because, to be honest, it doesn't pay for me to be looking for an apartment anymore. When such malicious, false accusations are made. I mean, they can't, from what I understand, keep a tenant there because there are too many irregularities that go on. So is there a lawyer out there who will help the seniors fight injustice by managements that seem to be corrupt, that take advantage of seniors? This should not be allowed. And I thank you for your time.